Good morning to this episode of Coffee with Casper. And today what we're going to be talking about is kennel training and bed training. And it's going to be one of the requested things that I was asked to do. And the biggest thing about this one is going to be just making sure that we understand what kennels are used for, what beds are used for, and a little bit about just the benefits of using them, and then also how to associate the two of them together. So I have my trusty assistant, Axe, who as soon as I brought the bed over here, he came running over and dove on top of it. And then also I do have a couple other things that were talked about from previous videos, but we had one of the cheaper Nylabones out. We've got some of the better ones out here. This is one of my favorites. It's the wolf size, and you can see how it's massive in my hands. But this thing has been chewed on by my big 100-pound boys for years now, and there's minimalistic amounts of wear on that. These rings are another really good one. They can't get a whole good chew on that, but they definitely love it, and they'll carry those things around everywhere. And then you've got just the real ones, and they will definitely work on these things. But anytime that we have aggression cases, the real bones go away because you never want to worry about real bones, whereas plastic, not so much on the possessive aspect of it. But when we do get into relaxation time, you always want to have something like this around so that they have something to entertain themselves with. You never want to have them where you put them into a situation, kennel, bed, anything like that, and just expect them to be self-entertained, or even if I'm going to put him into a kennel for an entire day with nothing to do, he's going to get very, very bored very, very quickly. And then the way I like to say it is, dogs like to tinker. And he is extremely smart, so he will actually start trying to pick this kennel apart. And he's very, very good at it. So if he starts picking that kennel apart, he will open this kennel up. And that's the problem with making smart dogs, is that the dog becomes extremely smart. And if you've ever watched a dog open up a kennel, it's a thing of beauty. But then it's also very, very frustrating at the same time. So let's talk about the difference between a bed and a kennel. Some dogs are not allowed to have beds inside of kennels. They will shred them. They get bored. They want to see what's inside of that bed. They'll tear the whole thing apart, but they can't put it back together. Now, other dogs, we'll say the same dog even. Same dog, you put a bed inside of the kennel, they can't take it at all. They will destroy it. But you take that bed out of the kennel, and they'll do just fine on it. So if you have a dog that shreds things, never put something inside of the kennel if they're going to shred it. That's where these little guys come into play, okay? You can put those inside of the kennel all day long. They won't shred them. They can't destroy them, and they're safe for them, all right? Whereas if I'm going to put something that has stuffing in it, now that's going to get ingested into my dog's stomach. It's a waste, and it's dangerous, all right? So I don't want to do that at all. The next thing I want to look at is, as I start kenneling my dog up, I want to make sure that I actually have a command for this. All right, so X, kennel. Now, he is already commanded to do this, so he's going to go in, he's going to get his treat. Now, the biggest thing about it is every time that he goes inside of this kennel, he's going to get paid for it. The timing is going to be X, kennel, as he crosses the threshold, and then he gets the door closed. Yeah, nice try, bud. All right. So he goes inside, he gets paid for it. If you're kennel training and you do not feed your dog inside the kennel, you need to start. I have bet money on this. I have talked to so many people. I've been training for years and years and years and years. Every single person that tells me that they're having issues with their dog inside the kennel, the first thing I will tell them is that they're not feeding their dog inside the kennel, and I'm almost always way over 90%. All right? So if your dog is panicking inside the kennel, walk by and just give him treats inside the kennel. All right? Now, this is the kennel. Notice how he is very easily able to go in and out as he wants to. The more you feed the dog inside the kennel, the more you reward the dog inside the kennel, the more that they're willing to go inside the kennel. All right? X out. Notice he has a release command as well. Okay? We talk about positional commands and non-positional commands. In and out. Kennel is obviously positional. I want him to go into a kennel. Positional means to cross the. So when I tell him kennel, that means crossing the threshold of the line. When I tell him out, that means to exit the kennel itself. So again, that's still positional. So those are the things that we start looking at as far as positional commands of going in and out of your kennel. All right? Now, we look at the same concept of acts out. He exits the kennel. I'm going to close that. And then we look at the bed itself. Okay? So acts bed. Again, positional. I'm telling him to go to a specific location, and then he gets paid on the location that he's at. So that now becomes a specific location that he's going to get rewarded when he goes to. Now, if I told him to go to the bed and he went to the kennel, he wouldn't get rewarded. If you put that same concept into sit or down or any other command that we give him for obedience, if I told you to sit and you sat in front of me instead of at my left-hand side, why would I pay you for that? It's not where I wanted you to be. So we start looking at positional commands in something as extreme as this, but we change it to so that it would be in a smaller sense of a sit position of being at my left-hand side or my front position or my right-hand side. If I told you to sit and you sat at my left side instead of my right side, it makes no sense to me. Because it's such an extreme difference in here, you went completely to the wrong spot. But when we do it for obedience, it's such a small difference, we'll still pay the dog. We don't want to do that. We want perfection every single time. So when I tell him to go to the bed, right now he's half on, half off the bed. So I don't like that. So acts off. So I'm going to fix this. I'm going to get him off the bed. I'm going to go acts bed. I'm going to get him back on the bed, fully on the bed. Good boy. And I'll pay him when he's properly on the bed. I want him fully on the bed. Part of him being on that bed is the fact that I want him comfortable. Well, if I don't think he's comfortable, then why would I pay him for being sloppy on the bed? It's still an obedience command. I'm still telling him to do something, even though it's still just something that I want him to be comfortable doing. But I don't want to reward him for being half on and half off the bed. It'd be like being half on the couch and half off the couch. I'm not going to reward you for having your paws off the couch and your butt on the couch. Now, that's not exactly something that I want to train. However, you might want to train it just for fun. Now, while he's there and he's resting and relaxing, what can I give him? I can give him Nylabones. I could toss a bone down there. I could toss another one over there. Whoop. Toss one there. I can toss one there. Ta-da! Is that a good thing? He's got 3 Nylabones. Well, I'm sorry. He's got 2 Nylabones and a real bone. He actually chose a Nylabone over the real bone. So, looking at something like this, what does he really want? Does he want a real bone over a Nylabone? Does he want the Nylabone over the real? Well, it's entirely his choice. Should I leave all 3 bones there? No, I really shouldn't. If I'm going to give him the choice of 3 different bones, he chose the Nylabone, cool. I'm going to take away the 2 that he didn't want, and I'll let him have the one that he wants. Okay? I'm not going to leave all 3 bones there. Now, same concept though. In the very beginning, I've got all these bones everywhere, lying all over the place, and I want to make sure that as I do have all these bones lying all over the place, and I do have multiple dogs, I want to make sure that I have control of everything that's going on. And the biggest way to be able to have control is just to make sure that as one dog has something, I'm in charge of who has what bone at what time. Right, bud? Yeah, you guys are good boys. All right? So, at any point in time, I can change this up. X, off. Good boy. And he's going to step. Oh, no, get off. And notice how he immediately goes straight over to his kennel, okay? Because this is the nice thing. Every single one of the dogs takes the kennel as their own space, all right? So a kennel to them is very, very positive. I'd rather my dog be in their kennel than just roaming around the house, picking up a corner someplace. At least this way I know exactly where they are. They're going to be exactly where their kennel is, all right? Now, if I have 4 dogs, 4 kennels, they're going to go to their own specific kennel. Axe, out. Give me this. Out. Good boy. Thank you. Now, because kennels are obviously having those plastic trays in there, those plastic trays can, over time, hurt the elbows of your dogs. So if your dog does tolerate having a bed in there and does not destroy that bed, you do want to have some form of padding inside of the kennel if it's tolerant. Okay, again, if the dog's not going to destroy that bedding. Now from here, you've got your dog's bedding in there. You've got a semi-indestructible chew toy. Now, how long can I leave my dog in there? An 8-hour workday is nothing to a dog, as long as it's been conditioned up to that point. All right? How about a 10-hour workday? Again, as long as you condition your dog up to that, it's not an issue. Dogs can handle 12 hours as long as they're a little bit older. You know, an 10-month-old dog probably can't handle 10 hours. But a year-old plus, you can condition them up to an 8 to 10-hour workday. No issues. You know, a 1.5 year, 2-year-old dog could easily hold a 12-hour workday. All right? So you have to condition it. You have to do it in small pieces, but you can condition that so that the dog can handle that. Dogs are able to do way more than what we give them credit for. But you got to make sure that they're also comfortable and they have something to be able to do in that time frame. All right? If you put them in the kennel with absolutely nothing to do, they're going to go stir crazy. But if you give them something to do while you're gone, they'll be fine. All right? So think of it this way. Make sure that as you guys are working your kennels, you're feeding inside your kennels, you're taking care of your dogs so that they're not going to get those pressure sores on their elbows. You have something mentally stimulating for them to do that they're not going to hurt themselves on because, again, that stuffing is going to really mess up their system. Something that's not going to be ingestible in any way, shape, or form, but also still mentally stimulating. And chewing is great for mental stimulation. But again, nothing that's going to ruin their teeth as well. Other than that, guys, this is probably one of the easiest things that you guys can work for kennel training. If you guys are having issues, zip ties on all of your main points here. Anything that has a clip on it, zip tie those. All right, especially if you guys are beginning off here and you're starting to work on all these issues and you're having problems with a dog that's already trying to break out of the kennel, you can zip tie every single one of these points here. If you have a clip on it already, you can zip tie all these clip points, and that's just going to reinforce your dog's kennel. Head on over to Lowe's or Home Depot and grab a 100-pack of zip ties and just start zip tying the ever-living tar out of it. All right, we've done it before, and the only bad part about it is when you have to break them down and you sit there and take little wire cutters and clip them all apart. But it does work. It does help out. And the only problem with that then is obviously your actual door itself. And then for your door, just use your leash clips, and you can leash clip around all your doors. So if you guys have any other questions about kennel training itself, let me know. I'll walk you guys through it. Other than that, I hope you guys found some enjoyment out of this, and I hope you guys learned some stuff, especially with the command sets with it, and then how it works as far as being able to get your dog in and out, and then the location base. All right, because you do have the difference between putting your dog into a positional command and a non-positional command when you guys are working the kennels and the beds as well. Okay, so again, these are positional commands going in and out of the kennels. going onto the bed, coming off of the bed would obviously be non-positional depending on how you're calling your dog off the bed. But when you have a setup like this, they have absolutely no issues going inside their kennel and just laying there and chilling out and chewing on a bone. And then you don't have to worry about them. They're not going to sit there and destroy your house. So have a good day, guys. Enjoy the rest of it. Enjoy your coffee. Take care of yourselves. Have fun with your dogs. Train all day long. All right. Something as simple as this, working your kennel, can be literally trained all day long. Okay. So I hope you found this enjoyable. Sorry for the cutscene. Somebody ended up calling me in the middle of my video, so I lost part of it. So we had to stop and restart it. But other than that, we keep going, right? So have a good day, guys. Take care.